Oh, someone's in trouble now, right, Donald?
Joe, one more word from you and I'm logging off.
Joe, seriously, no politics. I do not even care if Donald gets sent to jail. He will still be our pal, and we will still be making lists together, even from the cold, dark, depressing sounds of prison.
Damn, Barack. What is with you lately? Even I don't want to see Donald go to jail.
I'm not going to jail.
Whatever you say, Donald, okay. Let's get straight to it. Be one with the Force, my friends, as we will be ranking one of the most classic sagas ever to grace our movie theaters, Star Wars.
As long as Donald isn't frozen into carbonite by the time we finish, I guess he can help us in our effort to be one with the Force of the tier list.
Yeah, Joe, you know all about being one with the Force, don't you? Sniffing young boys and girls' hair, am I right, Barack? I love Star Wars, and I will take the Han Solo comparison. Joe, you're more like the lady that tells Obi-Wan Kenobi in Attack of the Clones that Camino does not exist. Just totally clueless.
Come on, guys, calm down. Anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. Let's get into this tier list. We'll do episodes 1 through 9, the main saga, then finish off by ranking these other things on this list.
Barack, everybody knows that Darth Vader's scene at the end of Rogue One was badass.
Agreed. Absolutely fire.
You're not getting a rebuttal from me on that one, Joe. It was fire.
Okay, so let's get into this list, as this saga is amazing. Starting with Rise of Skywalker. Where should we place this gem of a movie?
You are joking, right, Barack? If anything, this movie is like those gems that Dopey sweeps up like garbage in Snow White. That goes for all the J.J. Abrams installments. Just mid as all hell, and I am standing by this. What actual human on earth has ever said, hey, I have a great idea for a Friday night. Let us grab a pizza and marathon the sequel Disney trilogy.
You were right, Donald. It sounds like a Saturday Night Live sketch. Kind of like your presidency.
Joe, you are banking for a spanking, no politics. I agree, Donald, the films are mid at best, but I must admit, Rise of Skywalker at least was entertaining enough for the entire franchise to not go down like the Hindenburg.
Barack, I do have to add to Donald's point that The Last Jedi might have been the beginning of the end of the downfall of Star Wars. But I think The Mandalorian saved the franchise, not Rise of Skywalker. When Rey at the end told my sister that her last name was Skywalker, you could actually feel a great disturbance in the Force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror, and then all of a sudden were suddenly silenced.
And the fact that they had Kylo Ren just die like a bitch and did not get to be with Rey just proves how mid this movie actually is. Entertaining for the moment, but it just ends so terribly and embarrassing. It's almost like having C-3PO as the Phantom Menace and R2-D2 as Darth Sidious. Just mid, and I would be more embarrassed watching this movie than being caught by Melania looking at waifu chicks online.
I agree they did Ben Solo very dirty. Why would you build a character up killing his own father, then? Just copy the previous movies once again by just having Ben die, even though he is not even as close to deserving death like Darth Vader. I mean, seriously, Darth Vader went all in. This guy just stuck a red popsicle through his dad's stomach. I mean, he only thought he was thirsty for popsicles. What is the problem? So what tier are we feeling for Rise of Skywalker, fellas?
Bantha fodder, Barack.
Send it into the basement and let it collect that dust that it deserves. Let it collect the dust of Alderaan.
It deserves the best of the 3 sequels, in my opinion. I am placing it in B tier, okay, so Last Jedi?
Yes, Barack, B tier is fair. Barack, The Last Jedi was pretty sweet up until Rey decided to not join Ben Solo. That twist would have been almost as good as Darth Vader saying, Luke, I am your father. And trust me, I know because I saw the original Star Wars in 1977 when I was 87 years old. Oh, to be young again.
Joe, she didn't need to join him. She is strong-willed to always do the right thing.
Sweet like that elephant milk Luke had to drink on the island, right, Joe? And Barack, no matter how close their connection, even literally being able to touch hands without being in the same room, showing the audience how deep of a connection they had, and even after all of that, they still make it where she straight up rejects him. This entire movie was like this. Setups with no payoffs. She wasn't strong-willed. The love story was a victim of plot convenience. Sort of like Joe's entire presidency.
I do like a good payoff, Donald. You know me so well.
Damn, Joe, not even hiding your corruption anymore. That's as raw as Palpatine's cooked face. Slow clap for Darth Sidious, ladies and gentlemen. But no, I actually agree this movie was all setups and we did not learn anything new except that Leia could now use the Force, which they do not utilize whatsoever. Just mid as hell, and I am placing it into C tier.
Force Awakens next, Barack. This one is actually my favorite. It reminds me so much of A New Hope, but with new characters and no empire.
And so basically no movie. The story is straight up ripped from A New Hope. It's almost as bad as actually caring about a Harry Potter remake. I might as well jump off a couch instead of actually go skydiving and pretend we had a quality experience. It's a pathetic excuse of a movie, and throw it in bantha fodder right now, please, Barack.
Donald, you did not like the new characters at all? What about Finn? Weren't you excited at least to imagine that a stormtrooper could turn into a Jedi just like any other person if their heart was in the right place?
It was close, but no cigar. Joe, I'm not going to like a movie just because they could have done something cool with it. Throw it in the garbage, Barack.
Well, it is definitely no Last Jedi, so I will place it below Rise of Skywalker, as at least Rise of Skywalker was an original movie. Now, gente, onto the original trilogy.
Gesundheit, Mr. President.
Return of the Jedi. A classic. How are we feeling about this film? It concluded the original trilogy and officially baked Star Wars as a franchise into the culture of the world.
Barack, throw it into May the Force be with you.
Just throw all the original films into May the Force be with you. No Star Wars movie made after that trinity of films will ever touch the magnificence of the original trilogy.
I'm going to have to agree with you, Donald. They're godlike.
No issues here either. The films have a perfect arc, completing the stories of not just our hero Luke, redeeming his father and finally becoming a Jedi Master, but Han getting with Leia as well and bringing freedom back to the galaxy once more. The revelations throughout, like Darth Vader revealing that he is in fact Luke's father and Leia being Luke's sister, are added bonus to an already timeless space fantasy adventure. I will place them in this order, but they are practically all equal in awesomeness.
Yes, Barack and Anakin's redemption is so satisfying, and even all the more with the prequel backstories.
The prequels are mid as hell, but they are definitely no Disney cash grabs.
I agree. George Lucas put everything he had into the prequels, and I think they deserve our respect. There is always a haunting mystery in the air in regards to who is the Phantom Menace.
Darth Maul is sick as hell.
Along with Attack of the Clones, as to who is behind bringing these dark forces together.
Your senses aren't as attuned as my own, apprentice.
Donald, let Barack finish FFS.
The attempts on Padme's life are sweet as we get to see Jedi as more agent-type undercover figures, sort of like echoing Obi-Wan being on the down low in A New Hope. And the reveal of Palpatine, even though we all knew he was basically Satan, was epic nonetheless.
Yes, Barack. And it even has one of the most tear-jerking scenes in all of cinema where the Jedi get betrayed by Anakin. It reminds me of a little something, but let me think about it. Oh, yes, the election, that's right.
Stay on target, Donald. Stay on target.
But no, I agree completely. They are no Disney films. And I believe A-tier is a nice home for these films. They are actually worth watching if you are into Star Wars, alongside the absolute must-watch films of the original trilogy.
I'm sensing a disturbance in the Force.
Yes, Donald, now we have to rank the Disney standalone films.
You would catch me cheating on Melania before you caught me watching these things. I mean, seriously. The only thing I remember from both of these films was me trying my best to look for eye candy and just staring like a baboon at the special effects.
When Jill woke me up at the end, all I heard was her saying, "Sweetheart, Darth Vader. Look, it's Darth Vader." And suddenly I was transported to May 6th, 1980, when Empire Strikes Back came out. Holy hell, that movie was sweet. It needs to be said that Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie of all time, and basically number one. It is exciting from start to finish. We learn about the Force, meet Yoda, and our hero has the revelation of his life deepening the entire plot. The film is flawless, and I love you, Barack.
I know, Joe, I know.
Wow, get a room, guys, just gross. But I know, too, as that line improvised by Harrison Ford is truly magnificent.
And finally, what about Solo, A Star Wars Story?
Emilia Clarke, Barack. Emilia Clarke.
Joe, there is just no arguing with you there. Solid opinion. I agree very much with Joe, Barack. Emilia Clarke, yes.
Michelle, you there, Michelle? Okay, settled. See you boys tonight for the marathon. We will be watching as many as we can, and then Solo, A Star Wars Story later after Michelle has gone to sleep.
May the Force be with you, Barack. I will see you Jedis tonight.
May the Force be with you, Donald. You too, Barack.
Yes, may the Force be with you both. Obama out.